Yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's Chris and Adam back again for number 3. We're going to give this thing another try. Big day today. It's a Sunday night. We are here right after they made the selections on Selection Sunday. Super excited. Adam Schmidt to my right. I'm Chris Witt. We are cousins and doing a podcast on sports. So, if you like it, please hit the subscribe button, because if we get 20 new subscribers, Adam's buying me Skyline chili.
Yep, twice. 2 days in a row, actually.
2 days in a row. It'll be Thursday and Friday while we watch basketball.
Oh, my gosh.
I wish I could watch basketball with you on these days.
You can.
Although, I can tell you what I will be doing. So, I think Friday we're going to Indianapolis to go to the Children's Museum.
Oh.
Yeah, for the weekend, which is okay. Xavier doesn't play till 7, so we'll be back. We'll be at the hotel by then.
Okay.
2:00 UC game might be a little tough, but Thursday.
Have your phone ready to
Oh,
watch it.
I'll be on all day.
Yeah.
I'll be with my brother-in-law too, who is a huge UC fan, so that'll be fun. Yeah, and then Thursday I'm gonna belly up somewhere and go from about 12:50 to 4:00 with a couple customers and talk a lot about work and watch a little bit of basketball.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, my man, Adam, this is it. This is here. We're here. Our absolute favorite time of the year is here. It is March Madness time. Thank you. And I want to know from you what it takes to win in the tournament.
Guard play. Guard play is something you always hear guys talk about. Great defensive teams. Great defensive teams, but great offense beats great defense. So
I agree.
Those teams that average 85 points a game are probably going to have an advantage over the teams that hold you to 65 points or something like that. So, being a great defensive team, you have to be able to score the ball as well, though. Virginia, Tennessee, UC, all the best defensive teams in the league, those teams will win games because of their defense, but they won't go far. They won't go real far.
Virginia, though, can score.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They can score.
Yeah, those teams, the ones that can score, that are really good defensively and that continue to play that way in the tournament, if they can play that way against good teams and better teams each round, they'll do well, but they have to be able to score. You have to be able to score the ball. So, which is why guard play is so important. I
completely agree. I think experienced guard play is huge. You can win with young freshmen, and you can do things with sophomores, juniors, seniors. Obviously, you see these upsets are always those guys. All right, so we want to try to get every game in the best we can, give you our picks on what's going on. So we don't have a ton of time to go over a lot, but real quick, first four out. First four out: Baylor, Notre Dame, St. Mary's, USC. Any surprises?
My biggest issue is with St. Mary's not being in. Now, they only have 5 losses.
They only have 5 losses, but they've only played 4 games against people that aren't a quadrant in the bottom 2 quadrants.
Right. Yeah, and that was the explanation from the committee why they didn't make it in. It's still tough.
They did beat Gonzaga once.
They beat Gonzaga once, and they the West Coast Conference is not a bad conference. There's more than just Gonzaga and St. Mary's in there. There are a couple other teams that are pretty good. So to go through the entire season and yes, their non-conference wasn't any good, and that matters. That matters a lot. But
this year it matters. It's everything. Quadrant wins are basically what they're doing everything on. It's huge. So
right. Yeah, and it's. I think it's good to have that a system in place that gives you some criteria to make decisions by, but it doesn't. I think it's not perfect, and we'll see that. I think we'll see that every year if they continue to use this. Teams that are probably good enough to be in the tournament, and there are always going to be those teams anyway. But teams good enough to be in the tournament that aren't. But it just seeing their record, I think they were like 28-5 or something like that. you play that well through an entire season, and they're not it's not
Sure.
the whatever, it's not the Big Sky, and it's the West Coast Conference, and it's not, which is not the Big 12, and it's not the the ACC, but it's it's not a bad conference. So
Right.
St. Mary's was my biggest one, and I know Notre Dame was the one that got bumped out because
Bonzie Colson,
Davidson.
and that's the big thing. Bonzie Colson being out there, senior, their 6'5" senior, 20 points a game. He came back. They won a couple games in the tournament, but when a team loses 6 straight games, that makes it really hard to do to especially towards the end of the season. I mean, they lost 6 straight at the end of January going into February.
Yeah.
And then they lost 2 more out of their next 4. So
it's tough. It's tough to figure out, because Missouri was in the same boat too. They just got their their big freshman back, Porter, and they, but it's hard for the committee you can't really just go by prognostication, based on what you think that those guys that have been out are going to give you that are returning.
Sure.
So I don't know if you.
Although they try to, they will admit, and they'll admit that they look into that with a players coming back.
Yeah.
But all right, so what about Louisville? Louisville not even considered as one of the first 4 out. Arizona State makes it in. Syracuse makes it in. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame out. St. Mary's out. Louisville out. I really liked the Louisville team this year. I thought they had a good team.
Yeah, they had a couple wins that were pretty big time wins against good teams, and then they also struggled against.
Sure, but I mean that Virginia game a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I mean they should have. They had Virginia beat.
Yeah,
they had them beat, and then they come out and beat a good Florida State team in the tournament, and don't beat them. I mean they beat them well. I mean they let Florida State back into that game at the end, but I mean they still came out and beat them.
Yeah.
Of course, Virginia then turned around, and maybe if it's not a 25-point loss or whatever it was in that to Virginia in the ACC tournament, maybe that helps them out a little bit. But I thought Louisville should have been in.
Yeah. Well,
maybe not in, but at least on the first 4 out.
Go win the NIT and prove you should have been in.
There you go. I like it. Go win the NIT. They're not going to do that either. But that's all right. I really like that Paget. He's he looks good strolling the sidelines over there.
Hey, are we doing an NIT podcast?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do an NIT podcast.
Sure. Right.
I don't know anybody in it. I think Middle Tennessee State won the other day. If
I
that
think
helps.
they might start like tomorrow or
they
something.
Already started.
Did they already?
I think they already
the
started.
NIT stuff?
Maybe not. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh,
They do all kinds of crazy. I couldn't start it because they didn't know if anybody who could play or not.
yeah.
Probably play tomorrow. All right, so that's last 4 in. St. Bonaventure, UCLA, Arizona State is a joke. They beat Xavier in Kansas early, but, I mean, that is all that they did.
Who was the fourth one?
Syracuse. 2 years in a row, Syracuse makes it the last 4 in.
How is Oklahoma not one of the last 4 in?
I don't know. They made it with ease. Apparently, they made it with ease.
Which doesn't make any sense. We can talk about them a little bit more when we get to them, though.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the South. We're going to go through these relatively quick, kind of go let you know what we think. So first game is going to be Virginia versus the UMBC Retrievers.
Oh.
The Golden Retriever is a wonderful mascot, but obviously Virginia's going to win this. I am going to tell you I think this will be a really good game because the Retrievers can score points, and they put up a lot of points. They're averaging, I think they're averaging like 73, but over their last 5 games, I want to say it's been mid-80s. So it could be a little bit fun to watch.
I'm sure they haven't played a Virginia, especially a defense like Virginia's. So, I think Virginia pretty easily wins this one.
Pretty cake, yeah. I think it's cakewalk as well. All right, Creighton, Kansas State. This is an 8-9 game, Friday, 6:50.
I've got Creighton.
I'm a big Creighton fan. I think Creighton wins this game. I think Creighton, when they play their best game, that they could give a game to anybody. I mean, but at the same time, They just score too much for this Kansas State team. I think. I think they have too many scores. They score too much. To me, this could be an 8-9 seed blowout. This could be like a 11, 12-point game.
Kansas State doesn't really have any wins over any really good teams. Some decent teams, but Creighton beat Villanova. They beat Seton Hall. They beat Providence once. They beat UCLA. They beat Butler once. They have better wins. I think they're better battle tested, believe it or not, even though Kansas State's in the Big 12.
Yeah, I agree. So we both go with Creighton on that. Kentucky and Davidson. Our boys at Kentucky are doing what they do every year. It's such a terrible thing. They're terrible. These guys are horrible. These freshmen suck. There's to 4 losses in a row. What kind of Kentucky team is this? And what did I told you? Calipari every single year gets his guys going at the right time. They start clicking in March. It's hard to get a brand new team every year. It takes a while to get them cooking together.
Of course, yeah. It's going to be one of those Kentucky teams, and sometimes those Kentucky teams that play a ton of freshmen are just really, really good and dominate all year, and like Anthony Davis year. And
Yeah.
but this wasn't one of those teams. They struggled quite a bit through this year. But you're right, they're peaking at the right time. They won the SEC tournament, and I think Kentucky, just by talent alone, is gonna. And Davidson's experienced, and we talked about
They are.
But they're just. I don't think they're.
They knocked off a really good Rhode Island team
They did.
to win the A10 tournament. However, this Kentucky team right now is playing its best basketball, and you have a few really good guys. This Wenyen Gabriel, who I really just started watching him a lot more in this tournament. That I like. I mean, besides the fact that he's the darkest person I've ever seen in my life. That guy is a damn good basketball player, and he hustles his ass off all game long. Not to mention your boy Shea Alexander, that kid can take over a game at any point in time.
He's been my boy forever, so yeah.
Your boy. I don't know why I said that, but he had a great tournament. That kid did another. He kind of looks a little bit like Wiggins too, another Canadian.
Oh, Canadian.
What do you think?
I'll tell you what.
Little Canadians. Andrew Wiggins, about 6'6", 6'7", right? This guy, I think they look a lot alike.
Canada's turned out some quality basketball players.
They have. They got the kid in the NBA with that little white spot in his hair.
Steve Nash.
No, not Steve Nash. I don't know if he's probably got
Rasheed
all
Wallace?
gray.
Rasheed Wallace has a white spot.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that. But this guy's got anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so we both agree Kentucky's going to win this game.
Kentucky.
All right, Kentucky's going to win this game, and probably by double digits. Next game on the map is Arizona and Buffalo.
Arizona.
Is that just that easy?
It's just that easy.
Buffalo scores 84 points a game.
Arizona is super, super talented. DeAndre Ayton is a lottery
the best
pick.
player.
Yeah. Arizona, I think, will have no problem with Buffalo.
Well, got to watch in this game that Buffalo's got a guard, C.J. Massenberg. I think I think you'll be impressed with what he is able to do as a little 6'3". They say he's 6'3". I'd be surprised if he's 6 foot, but watch him. Number 5 scores about 17 a game, gets 7 boards at that. He averages 7 boards a game as a little point guard like this. He's so much fun to watch.
I love a guard that rebounds.
Yes. Anyway, I do agree. I think Arizona wins this, but I think Buffalo is able to put up enough points. I think Buffalo could do something, even though they're not really.
They just give him a fight.
Buffalo.
You mean?
Yeah, they give him a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if this is 5 points or under.
Wow.
In this game,
Okay.
I would say that.
All right.
All right. So Miami and Loyola of Chicago.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami just because of their experience playing in the ACC. But Loyola Chicago, I've from what I understand, is another team with some good senior leadership, and they won their conference tournament. But Miami's, I think, is going to be too much for them.
They start 2 juniors, 2 seniors, and a freshman center. So yeah, the Loyola team is extremely experienced. Problem is they only play 6 people. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's going to kill you. Miami, their depth and length beats them. I think that's a blowout. I think that's a 6-11 blowout game, in my opinion.
I think I actually am going to say that is one that's a single-digit
You think the
Well, for
opposite of me,
Miami.
huh? All
I
right,
think
there
so.
you go. Well, we'll write that down and make sure we pay attention to.
Where's Joe with the notes?
Yeah, I know. We need our. Yeah, Joe is not here today. We got a little late start. It's about 10:30
It's
at
about
night.
11:30.
Is it 11:30? Man, we sat around and bullcrap way too long. All right, so after this,
It's called preparation.
preparation. That's what it was. Show prep. Show prep. That's what they call it in the biz. Whatever biz this is, where you sit in somebody's little office dungeon in the basement of their house and talking to microphones. Tennessee, Wright State. Our boys from Wright State, another Ohio team in the tournament. Gotta love it. Just up in Dayton. What do you think? Tennessee's a real
man.
small team. They're not long.
I love that Wright State's there, and I hope they have a fun time for the couple of days that they're going to be there, because Tennessee's going to beat them by 20 or more.
For all you Reds fans out there who remember or were alive in 1990, the first baseman who made the final out, Mr. Todd Benzinger. Benzinger backing and calling, and the Reds win the World Series. There you go. That's the great first baseman, part-time player, a lot of fun. His son plays for Wright State and will hit probably 5 threes in the game.
Grant Benzinger is an outstanding basketball player from Moeller High School.
Yes. But I agree with you. Tennessee wins. So far, we're pretty well chalk in the South Division. So let's go on to Nevada and Texas.
Nevada scores a ton, and Texas, Texas played in a stronger conference, obviously, but they struggled against some teams that they should have beaten, and they're a very up and down team. Shaka Smart's had some success in the tournament in the past, but
Mohamed
I think
Bamba
this
is
is different.
100%. Here I am talking over you again. I apologize, but he's
No.
100% now. They're again not a huge team, but when you put that 6'10", 6'11" Mo Bamba out there, they're pretty much all freshmen and juniors on this team, but there's a little bit of the height that you need when you get Mo Bamba in there, because they're not a big team after him. But that kid he's a force, man. That kid is good. I mean, double every game.
He is, and he may be a problem for Nevada, but I think Nevada shoots the ball well enough that they're going to shoot their way into the second.
Well, they're
round.
going to have to, and they are extremely small. They 4 juniors and the seniors. What they start, they're extremely. They've been around. They know who they are. They know how to play the game. They've been in the tournament a couple times in the last 4 years. So it'll be interesting. There's a kid on there named Caleb Martin, one of those Oak Hill Academy guys from Virginia. That's not his hometown, obviously, because if you play at Oak Hill Academy,
You're
from
there.
It's exactly right. So, but watch that kid, man. He's a lot of fun to watch. 19, 5, and almost 3 assists a game.
There you go.
All right, so I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go with Texas in that game.
Okay, I got Nevada.
I think Mo Bamba has a great game. I don't think Texas gets past Cincinnati in the next round, but I'm going to take Texas. You're going to take Nevada. I got to have at least one upset in this bracket. All right, so that puts us, like I said, on to Cincinnati versus Georgia State. One of my favorite coaches of all time, who can't seem to contain himself, sprains his ankle, falls off of chairs, all over the place. His son is no longer playing for him this year. However, this Georgia State team is a lot of fun. Ron Hunter, who I'm talking about, he's a guy cracks me up on the sidelines. But UC is I think is just too much for these guys.
Yeah, really good defensive team. They've got guys that can score, so when they shoot the ball well, they're really hard to beat. So, yeah, I think UC will be way too much for Georgia State.
All right, so then let's move on to the South. Second round for the South, that is. So let's go back up to the top then. Mm-hmm. So we both have Virginia Creighton.
Correct.
All right, so where are you at with that?
Virginia. They have 2 losses all year, and they played in the ACC. I think they're too good. I'll just say it right now. We'll get there, but I'm putting them in the Final Four. So
Creighton lost the first round of the second round of the Big East tournament for their first game, and lost the last game of the year. They're kind of on a little bit of a slump, to be honest. 4 out of their last 6 games are losses. They're not playing their best basketball, and then they're going in against the best team in the country. I'm with you, Virginia. It is.
Yep.
All right, Kentucky versus Arizona.
This could be a pretty good game, but I think Arizona. I think Kentucky, even though they're playing their best basketball right now, I think their inexperience and some of the trouble they had throughout the season earlier, even just a couple of weeks ago, I think that's going to be enough. I think that's still going to haunt them. So I think Arizona, with their talent and their just the team that they are, I think they're gonna beat them.
Arizona, they play like 11 guys. They play a lot of guys.
That's very deep.
And I mean, they don't play 11 guys every game, because you got a few of them that maybe 10. We'll say 10 because that Barcelo doesn't really even get in. Barcelo, however you say his name. But I mean, it's the big 4 for them in Ayton, Trier, Alkins, and Ristic. But they're so much fun to watch. I like this Arizona team. I think DeAndre Ayton is unbelievable. Kentucky, there's something about the way Kentucky's playing right now. I don't know what it is, but it's Calipari's got them going, and this Knox kid and Gabriel's defense and Shea Gildress-Alexander, I'm going to take Kentucky just to mix it up a little bit. Let's mix it up. So you're going Arizona, I'll take Kentucky.
Yep.
Miami versus Tennessee.
I've got Tennessee. Tennessee beat Kentucky twice, and they're a really good team. They were the best team in the SEC.
They almost beat them today.
Yeah,
it was a good game.
Yeah, I think they're the best team in the SEC, and they're another really good defensive team. They're really tough. Miami's really good too, but I think Tennessee's too much for Miami.
I think that Tennessee is I think they are the best team in what might this year be one of the top 2 conferences in basketball. I mean, the SEC is. I mean, they put how many teams did they put? I don't know. I want to say 7 teams in there.
Yeah.
Was it 7? No, 8. They had 8
it
guys.
8?
They had 8 teams in. I mean, it's a record to most SEC teams that have ever been in a NCAA tournament. So, I mean, you're one of the best conferences. You're the best team in it. I'm going with Tennessee over Miami as well. All right, Texas, USC. Actually, yeah, I have Texas. You have Nevada. Both playing UC, Cincinnati, our Bearcats.
Right. I think this is okay. So for me, I have Nevada, Cincinnati. This could be a really tough game for Cincinnati.
This is like the opposite ends of the spectrum, because Nevada puts a ton of points on the board, and UC is the second best defensive team in the country.
Right. Yeah. So that's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. And so I did pick Cincinnati though. I picked Cincinnati because they're tough. They have some really good seniors. Gary Clark was the conference player of the year. I think he's gonna want to really do something special here in the tournament, because this is the best Cincinnati team they've had in a while.
And Jacob Evans is unbelievable. I love that kid.
Yeah,
so I agree with you. UC it is. All right, so that'll bring us down to the bottom into the West. And we're already 24 minutes into this thing, so we're going to try to pick up the pace a little bit, try to keep this thing 45 minutes or under. So we'll start running through these next brackets pretty quick. Xavier versus the winner of I don't even know the winner of this game. It's the play-in game, NCCU and Texas Southern. North Carolina Central versus Texas Southern. Pretty simple, right?
Pretty simple.
I mean, I think X has got that game right off the bat.
Absolutely.
We'll go to the 8-9 game, which is the Missouri-Florida State game.
I'm taking Florida State. Florida State's always really long and athletic. They always scare me. So I'm taking Florida State because of that.
Do they scare you because they always have a giant on their team? I feel like they always got this monster of a man in the middle of there. Like last year was a guy who had like a size 29 shoe or something like that.
Yeah.
And this year they got another monster in the middle. Anyway, you're taking Florida State. I'm taking Missouri. It's time to see what this Michael Porter Jr. is really all about, and I think I like to see him. So I'm going to go Missouri here. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. All right. So Ohio State and South Dakota State.
Ohio State turned that program around seemingly overnight.
Yes.
They've played really well all year. They've got wins against Michigan State, Michigan, and Purdue, who are all top 3 seeds in this tournament. So I'm going to take Ohio State.
All right. Well, we're going to disagree again because I'm going with South Dakota. I'm
the
going with
big
the
upsets.
Jackrabbits, baby. I love the I don't know if it's because they're Jackrabbits or what it is, but I think this. There's always one quadrant that's just screwed up all to hell and back. So I'm going to go with the West as hopefully being the one where all the lower seeds come. So it gives me a little easier road to the Final Four for my X-Men of Xavier. By the way, for the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, keep an eye on this Mike Daum, 24-10. Yeah, kid's pretty fun. I haven't seen him play, but just seeing what it looks like he's done is pretty impressive. So I'm taking the upset there, South Dakota State. Gonzaga versus UNC Greensboro.
Gonzaga scores at will, it seems like. They always do. They're always a really good offensive team. I'm taking Gonzaga.
That's a pretty easy one for me. I'm going with you on the same thing. All right, Houston, San Diego State. San Diego State coming out of that over there far west. Not a lot of people get to see those games. Don't watch teams like that.
Mm-hmm. They're always a good program with Steve Fisher over there. I'm taking Houston. I had a chance to watch Houston more this year because they played UC a few times, and I think they're really tough. And they had UC beat today, and UC kind of pulled it out at the end. But so I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, I agree. Houston guard play. Once again, guard play wins in this tournament, and Houston has 2 extremely good guards. One of them that Gray kid needs to do something about his haircut, but the rest, other than that, I agree with you. Houston, it is. All right, so Michigan, Montana.
So we talked about Kentucky playing really well at the end of the season, right? Just at the right time. Michigan's another team.
No doubt about it. But here's the classic rust versus rest. What is going to happen with the Big Ten playing that tournament a week early?
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Montana won their conference tournament. That's great. Michigan, played Michigan State and Ohio State and Purdue, and I mean they played in the Big Ten all year. The Big Ten is pretty good.
That sounds good. I'm with you there. Michigan, it is for me as well. Texas A&M and Providence.
I'm going to take Providence. Kind of the same reason I took Houston because I got to see Providence more often this year because they played Xavier a few times. And they beat Xavier.
And they beat Villanova.
They have 3 or 4 wins against pretty good teams. So Texas A&M's a good team too, and they play in a tough conference too. I think I'm just taking Providence here.
The problem with Texas A&M for me is they lost the first round, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Well, their first round, which I think in the SEC tournament now is like the second or third round in. However, a close game lost. The 2 games before that, they won close games, but they lost by double digits multiple times in the past month. So I'm with you. I got to go away from Texas A&M. I'm going with Providence and the experience that this Providence team has. All right, North Carolina and Lipscomb. I think this is pretty simple, right? Can we just write North Carolina in? I'm sorry, Lipscomb. I'm so happy that you guys finally made it in for the first time ever, but I think that's pretty simple.
Even though I like the idea of a comb for your lips.
I have one.
I will too.
I use it for my upper lip.
Yeah, mustache comb, yeah.
For when I rock just the mustache.
When was the last time you did that?
Last time I did that was when we had the big snowstorm here last month, and we went to the Cleveland Cavaliers Indiana Pacers game and watched the Cavaliers lose, blow a 20-point lead. You did miss out on that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I was looking good.
I'm sure you were.
Yes, I was looking good. Porn stash was looking really good. All right, let's get into the second round of this thing. So you have X versus Florida State. I got X versus Missouri.
Yeah. So for me, even though, like I said, Florida State scares me, and that's what I meant is when they play anybody, it's even though I'm not maybe quite the Xavier fan you are, I still consider myself a Xavier fan. But I this one scares me for Xavier because Florida State's always really athletic, always really long. They might be better athletes than Xavier has.
And they're coming off losing, not getting knocked out of the tournament last year by Xavier when they were a 3 seed and X was an 11.
Yeah. So they, I'm sure they have some revenge on their mind. I think though that Xavier is a really good team, a really balanced team, and I'm sure Trayvon Blewett's gonna score 48 a game.
Karen, I'm going to tell you right now, Blewett will do what he does. He puts 20 points up a game without you even noticing it.
Right.
The guy to watch for Xavier in this game is going to be Karam Cantor because Florida State's long and athletic, and Karam Cantor is very athletic, but he's slow. He's sneaky. Rafferty likes to call him an old an old YMCA kind of player, But he's so good. But he's been playing great this past month, and I think he'd be I'm taking Xavier as well. So over Missouri on my side. All right. So then we got Gonzaga, number 4 seed, going up against Ohio State. I have South Dakota State.
So I'm sure we'll have the same winner in this game then, probably.
Pretty sure that we're both going to go with the Zags. I don't think there's any doubt.
We're going to go with the Zags, yeah.
As well as Ohio State has played this year, Gonzaga is I feel like no matter what happens, all these teams from the West Coast get a little hurt on seed lines a lot. And I'm not saying they're a 3 seed, but you're coming off this is a team that was lost in the championship game last year. They're bringing a lot of kids back. This is a good team. I'm going with the Zags.
Yep.
Houston and Michigan.
I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm going to take Michigan because of the way they're playing right now, and not that Houston's not playing really well right now, but just the run that Michigan's on right now, and playing in the Big Ten. I mean, both of these teams are pretty well battle tested, but Houston is battle tested because they played UC a few times and Wichita State a few times. Other than that, in their conference, they don't play a whole lot. So Michigan played tough games all year, and they won their conference tournament in that really tough conference. So I'm taking Michigan.
And the fact that they've just had so much time to rest, I think rest beats rust, and in this case for Michigan, and I think they're going to pull that one out as well. All right, so next game we have, I believe we both took Providence in this game, the Texas A&M Providence upset, 10 over 7 seed, going up against UNC.
Carolina.
This is not even a game. This is going to be a 25-point game. I feel bad for you, Providence, but that is what it is. All right, real quick, skinny jeans. Your thoughts?
Hey, if you want to wear skinny jeans, are we talking about you? You're asking for a friend?
I'm asking you, what do you think about men that wear skinny jeans? Not women, because I love them on women. What do you think about a man wearing skinny jeans?
If you want to wear skinny jeans, you know what? If you can make it work for you, okay, just go for it, I guess.
That's terrible.
I'm gonna
put your sister's jeans back in the closet and go buy a pair of jeans that fit. Jesus Lord. All right, other side of the bracket to the east. All right, so to start off here in the east, you got Villanova versus the play-in game, which is Radford versus who is the other team they're playing? LIU Brooklyn.
LIU Brooklyn, yeah.
Yes, the LIU Brooklyn, who I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be a really good game, Villanova.
Yep, Blackbirds are going down. Sorry. Okay, so Virginia Tech, Alabama.
I'm going to take Virginia Tech. They actually have some wins against some pretty decent teams, and Alabama's been really up and down. They have some surprise wins against decent teams, but then they've struggled quite a bit too, especially lately. So I take Virginia Tech.
Avery Johnson's team in Alabama had a game where they ended the game They only had 3 guys in the game and
That's
almost
awesome.
won. They went to overtime or something
did.
crazy like that.
They did.
A hell of a great game. Good for you, Avery Johnson, who's one of my favorite people of all time, favorite talkers of all time. However, I'm going with you. I'm going with Virginia Tech there too. So let's go West Virginia, Murray State.
Murray State, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, has a big upset in the tournament in the past, and I can't remember who it's against.
It's not going to be against West Virginia.
That actually, to me, feels like one of those upset games.
Are you not going to go chalk on a game? Are you going to do that? I think the only one you took was Providence so far.
Correct.
7-10 matchup.
I'm picking West Virginia.
That's what I thought. I'm taking West Virginia. This West Virginia team is good. Bob Huggins got them playing really good basketball. That's an easy one for me. Wichita State, Marshall.
I don't think this will be a problem for Wichita State. They're a really good team.
Wichita State is a good team.
Yeah.
Marshall, good for the Thundering Herd, but sorry, not going to happen in the first round. Florida versus the St. Bonaventure UCLA play-in. First off, this could be a good play-in game, St. Bonaventure and UCLA. I think this is a really good game.
I agree.
I think UCLA wins the game. However, I'm taking either one of those beating Florida.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the kind of the popular pick for an upset, and I can easily see that happening. Having said that, I'll take Florida.
All right, well, I'm putting UCLA in there because I think it's going to be UCLA win both those games. However, there's no way they beat Texas Tech in the next round. I don't even think we need to talk about this game. Texas Tech's one of my favorite teams in the country against Stephen F. Austin. You're taking Texas
Stephen
Tech.
F. Austin.
We know all about last year. This ain't or 2 years ago.
Going to lose this game.
Yes. So Texas Tech it is. So that puts us to Arkansas and Butler. This seems to me like this could be a really fun game.
This is one of the most intriguing games of the first round to me. I think they're really well matched. My actual first inclination was to take Arkansas. And
2 senior guards.
Yeah, and then I looked into it a little bit more, and I went ahead and picked Butler. So my pick is Butler. And I'm already regretting that.
I would regret it as well. I'm telling you right now, I love Butler, and they are playing some unbelievable basketball at the end of the year. Not unbelievable, just regular Butler, just consistent basketball.
Right.
But this Arkansas team, and like I said, 2 senior guards. They have 3 senior guards that actually play quite a bit, averaging 10 or more. So. Yeah, that's easy to me. Jalen Barford, I think, takes over the game. Big, solid point guard, four rebounds, 2.5 assists a game. I think that does it. Arkansas for me. So Purdue versus Cal State Fullerton. This is a 2-15 matchup. Does anybody think Purdue's going to lose this game?
If this was a baseball game, I might take Cal State Fullerton, but it's a basketball game.
I'd take Cal State Fullerton over the field in here since Louisville's not in it.
So I will take Purdue here.
All right, sounds good. So back at the top puts us with, did you take Virginia Tech or Alabama?
I took Virginia Tech.
All right, so we got Villanova versus Virginia Tech for both of us.
Villanova easily for me.
Without a doubt, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, DiVincenzo, this team is legit. I think they are, to me, a national championship team. This team is unbelievable.
Certainly.
Okay, so West Virginia versus whoever you have in this game, which I took Wichita State. I think we both did. So West Virginia, Wichita State.
This is one of those situations where Wichita State was really good all year. But they played in the AAC, who had 3 good teams.
Yeah.
And West Virginia played the Big 12, who had a whole bunch of good teams. And a Bob Huggins team is going to be, I know they had a history at UC of losing in the second round, but he has good athletes. He coaches them well. West Virginia wins this game.
I'm taking West Virginia as well. In fact, this game here, I am going to say West Virginia. I think this is I think it's a double-digit win for West Virginia. UCLA. I'm sorry, I took UCLA in this. You took Florida, Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm. So
you have Florida, Texas Tech.
I have Florida, Texas Tech. So it didn't matter for me. I took Texas Tech in this game.
All right, Texas Tech for me too. That's an easy one. Texas Tech is, like I said, I think one of the best teams, one of the better teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Arkansas versus Purdue. You have Butler. I took Arkansas. You think either of them can beat Purdue?
I do not. Purdue went 15-3 in the Big Ten. They were really good all year.
Guard play, man. This is where I think this is a sneaky upset for me. I think Purdue is ripe to get beat early in this tournament. They once again, rest versus rest. I don't know what's better. I always say rest is better, but this Purdue team, if you get that big guy in foul trouble, Ivan Drago's cousin or nephew or whatever.
Yeah, Spencer Drago.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going with Arkansas.
Okay, I like that. I don't disagree that this could that could very well be an upset.
There you go. All right, so then moving on to the Midwest. All right, so start off with Kansas versus Penn. Congratulations, Penn. Quakers, I'm happy for you. I think it's an easy one.
Yeah, if this is an SAT contest, Penn probably gets it. I'm going to take Kansas in the basketball game.
There you go. Seton Hall, NC State.
I take NC State.
Taking North Carolina State, is there a reason why you're taking North Carolina State? Or
Yes, because they have wins over Duke, North Carolina, Clemson, Arizona.
Okay, I agree with that. However, I can tell you that Desi Rodriguez was out for a few games there with a busted ankle. This team is this Seton Hall team has a group of kids that have been together now that are seniors. They're led by four seniors between Delgado, Carrington, and Rodriguez, and it's hard to get past seniors. And you get in this type of game, I'm going, and not just because I'm a Big East guy, but because I really think Seton Hall is a good team. Desi Rodriguez, look out for that kid, and of course Angel Delgado, who's just a man.
I really like that Seton Hall team. It wouldn't surprise me if they beat Kansas in the second round and went to the. I'm taking NC State in this game.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So Clemson, New Mexico State.
Clemson.
What, you don't think New Mexico State has a chance in this game?
I think they have a chance in this game, but Clemson played in the ACC. They played a really tough schedule. I take Clemson.
That's an easy one for me too. Clemson it is. All right, Auburn versus Charleston.
Auburn
it is too. My buddy Bruce Pearl, probably going to take pictures with a whole lot of co-eds after the game. That's what he does. He likes young ladies.
Okay. Don't know if I can blame him, but it
is what it is. He'll probably sweat like a profusely and have a craziest orange jacket you ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, TCU versus. This game already upsets me because Arizona State and Syracuse both don't deserve to be in this game, even in the tournament, if you ask me. But TCU versus the winner of that game.
I'm taking Arizona State.
You're going to take Arizona State. Arizona State beats Syracuse and beats TCU. I'm taking TCU for one reason and one reason only, and that's because the other two teams don't deserve to even be in the tournament. Although you're probably right, but those guards for Arizona State are really good. But no, I'm taking TCU. That's the end of it. All right, Michigan State, Bucknell.
Michigan State.
No question. All right. So then we got get down to this is going to be a fun game, I think. Rhode Island versus Oklahoma.
I saw Rhode Island play today against Davidson for a little bit, and I was not that impressed. But I know they had a really good season. They look like a really athletic team and everything, which is great. I'm taking Rhode Island, but we talked about this off air, and it because Oklahoma
they're ranked because they're 7 and Oklahoma's 10. You're Mr. Chalk.
Well, no, because Oklahoma I think deserves to be in this tournament less than Arizona State and Syracuse.
That's fine, but I'm going to tell you right now that this is a game, and I kind of agree with you. I don't think Oklahoma necessarily deserves to be in this either. But, however, I'm going to take Oklahoma, and I'll tell you the reason. One thing, if you're putting money on a game, there's going to be so much money put on Rhode Island in this game.
Yeah.
I'd take Oklahoma and steal everybody's cash.
Just because Oklahoma is going to be such an underdog in this game. And, by the way, they have the best player in the country.
And the line's going to get pushed so far towards Rhode Island. There's no doubt in my mind I'll take Oklahoma in this, and I'd wait till the very end to take them. All right, so Duke, Iona, no question. I'm just writing Duke down. I know that's who you want. Not even a question. All right, so getting pretty close here. Kansas versus you got NC State, I have Seton Hall.
Here's my first big upset in this tournament.
Atta boy, I agree. I'm taking Seton Hall in this game. Once again, senior-driven team, although you took NC State. What do you think?
I'm taking whoever wins that game, which I have NC State.
Versus Kansas.
And
I think Kansas is a great team.
Kansas is good enough to win the national championship, and they're questionable enough to get beat in the second round.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. I mean, that Devontae Graham could be the National Player of the Year. You talk about Trae Young. That kid could be one of the best players in the country. And of course, Azubuike is that guy's 7 foot double waiting to happen. But like you said, they've struggled. They've struggled a few times this year, but they're playing really good basketball at the end of the year. I'm still taking Seton Hall. That's that senior-driven team. I like it. All right, Clemson versus Auburn. We both took the same on both of these, I believe. Yes. Clemson and Auburn. What do you got?
This is a really intriguing game to me, but I'm just such a big ACC guy. I have to take Clemson in this. They have wins over who I mentioned before: Duke, Carolina, Arizona.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm taking Clemson as well. I think this is a really close game. Could go either way. I'd say this is probably I wouldn't put money on this because I'd put it at a pick'em game, but I think Clemson wins. TCU, Michigan State.
Michigan State. I have Arizona State, but it doesn't matter who won that first round. But
that's right.
Yeah, it's Michigan State.
Michigan State. There's no doubt about it. That team's as good as it comes. So once again, I think them being a 3 seed makes absolutely no sense to me at all. How a team that goes 29-4 ends up as a 3 seed?
Yeah.
I mean, they were just what are they? They're fourth in the country or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, I agree. Oklahoma, Duke.
Duke. Without question.
Grayson Allen could beat that team by himself. That little white boy. No, I'm kidding. Oklahoma, sorry. That's the end of Trae Young. All right, there you go. So that takes care of the first round. So real quick before we get out of here, let's do this. Give me your Final Four.
My Final Four is Virginia, North Carolina, Villanova, and I'm struggling so much. I'm going to put Duke.
Can we say that it's the winner that's Michigan State Duke game? I mean, that's going to be in there.
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's no doubt about it, I think.
Yes.
So it kills me that you're taking UNC over my boys. I'm going to tell you right now. It kills me. Mm-hmm. That's all right, though. So I'm going the same way. I think Virginia and UC makes it to the Elite Eight. Virginia is going to come out of that in the Final Four. On the other side, I can't go without. I got to go with my boys. It's the Muskies, man. They got 4 seniors that drive this team. Senior play is what does it. I'm going with them. Nova out of the East and Duke out of the Midwest. All right, so real quick, who wins the championship?
Oh, man. It is going to be Virginia.
I completely disagree. I think we've talked about this multiple times. I think Virginia gets beat by Xavier, not because I'm a Xavier fan, but because that defense can only last for so long. Xavier's a well-rounded team that can put points up. Not just because I'm a Xavier fan am I putting them in there, but yes, I think they're going to make it to the championship game. However, they are going to lose to whoever comes out, Nova or Duke. Both teams, I think Villanova and Duke. Right now, Duke, if Duke plays the way that they can play basketball at the end, that they played a few games the end of this year, I think Duke is one of the best teams in the country.
No question.
It's hard to. I got to go Nova, so I'm going Villanova wins it all.
Okay.
Beat Xavier, Big East championship, baby.
Oh,
yeah! Look out! Oh, holy cow, that was loud. I need to turn that thing down.
Does that mean your pick is wrong?
That means that we are out of here. Once again, please, this is going to be on YouTube. You can stream it on YouTube, or you can download it on SoundCloud, although nobody, I think, has listened to it on SoundCloud. But you can download it.
Doing that.
Yeah, listen to it. Download it. Listen to the whole thing. Well, 50 minutes, man. We did good. We kept it under an hour. I'm so impressed.
Our goal was a half hour, right?
35 to 45 minutes was the goal. All right, so once again, please subscribe and listen to this because I want Skyline Chili from Adam.
You might just get it anyway.
There you go.